The Caucasian Shepherd Dog is a breed of large livestock guardian dog native to the countries of the Caucasus region, notably Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Dagestan. Selective breeding of Caucasian Shepherds started in the Soviet Union from about 1920 from dogs of the Caucasus Mountains and the steppe regions of southern Russia. The Caucasus Mountains in Georgia has historically been the most principal region of distribution of the Caucasian Shepherd Dogs, both in terms of numbers and the quality of the dogs present in the area. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are the nightmare of all hooligans and hunters for other people's property. Soft on the outside and harsh on the inside, these formidable giants have a number of virtues, among which the willingness to stand up for the owner and his material values is central. But you should not expect special emotionality, as well as compliance, from Caucasians. Any wolfhound is, first of all, a watchman and a guard, with an explosive character and his own views on life, and only secondly is a pet. Highlights. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are friendly only towards members of the family in which they live. All strangers and animals are viewed through the prism of distrust. Dogs have lightning-fast reactions. We are always ready to defend the owner and his property. Caucasian wolfhounds are not bloodthirsty, but aggressive enough, so they need a firm hand. People who do not have the skills of raising and training guard dogs should think more than once before getting a Caucasian. Sheepdogs are phenomenal sensitivity. A sleeping pet is able to pick up the slightest rustles and noises. Dogs tolerate cold relatively easily, so they feel great in an aviary and a booth. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are calm about the absence of the owner and do not require special attention. They can sit for hours, taking a wait-and-see attitude and looking out for potential border violators. The breed grows slowly, reaching full physical and mental maturity by only 2 years of age. Dogs are intelligent and trainable, although they are inferior to German Shepherds in the speed of mastering basic commands. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are easily turned on and unrestrained in anger. The raging Caucasian is able to pretty much ruffle the skin and nerves of even the most eminent representative of fighting breeds. Animals have good intuition and easily determine by eye the degree of possible danger. History of the Caucasian Shepherd Dog breed. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are among the most ancient canine clans, the history of which goes back thousands of years. So, for example, the ancestors of today's wolfhounds grazed sheep flocks in the foothills of the Caucasus long before the advent of Christianity. As for the origin of the breed itself, its founders are considered to be the Tibetan Great Danes, which in ancient China were used for baiting and fighting. Some experts call the homeland of dogs southwestern Asia, or rather, the Urartu-Arara kingdom, where animals were in the service of cattle breeders, and from where they began to scatter across adjacent territories. An interesting fact, the ancient shepherds were the first breeders to whom the Caucasian Shepherd Dogs owe their outstanding watchdog instinct. They were in charge of viscous animals and selection of puppies, cultivating and successfully developing useful performance characteristics in them. For example, a real shepherd dog, in the understanding of Caucasian shepherds, had to have endurance and sufficient strength to deal with an attacking wolf. In addition, she was prescribed unpretentiousness in food and insensitivity to sudden changes in air temperature. Caucasian Shepherd Dog, breed description. The height of an adult male is 68 to 78 centimeters, with a weight of 50 to 125 kilograms. Bitches are smaller, 64 to 70 centimeters, with a weight of 40 to 115 kilograms. They are very large massive dogs that look like bears. The head of the Caucasian Shepherd Dog is square, large, and heavy. The skull has the shape of a wedge, the superciliary arches are well developed. The muzzle is wide, with a smooth transition to the forehead. Straight nasal bridge. The nose itself is wide, with pronounced nostrils, usually black. The jaws of the Caucasian Shepherd Dog should be wide and massive. Strictly 42 teeth with large dense canines. The bite is also tight to provide a dead grip. The eyes are round and small, set wide apart, black or dark brown. The eyelids are well defined and set deep. The ears of the Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are set high and have a triangular shape. Most often they are docked, which makes the dogs look even more like bears. The neck is short, massive, with a pronounced nape. The body is firm and well balanced. The muscles are developed. The back is wide, sloping, straight. The chest is also broad. The withers are well defined. Croup sloping towards the tail, but firm. The tail of the Caucasian Shepherd Dog can be sickle-shaped or ring-shaped. Always set high and of good length. The legs are of medium length, straight, well-developed muscles and broad, stable bones. The paws are rounded and quite dense. Dogs of this breed did not develop uniformly. Depending on the area, there are different types of Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. Georgian, massive and tallest dogs of this breed. The body is more elongated, Armenian, not the tallest, more sophisticated dogs. Azerbaijani is divided into mountain and steppe. They have long legs and a square body. Dagestan is the largest type of dog with a square body. Popular colors of Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs have a wide range of colors that other representatives of Shepherd Dogs cannot boast of. In this case, the color of the undercoat, as a rule, is always the same. It is light beige or light gray fluffy hair. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs originally guarded sheep herds in the mountains, while having a silver-gray color. This played a cruel joke with them. In a fight with a wolf, the owner could accidentally shoot his guard, and not the wolf, because of the color, the dogs looked very similar to their enemies. Therefore, people began to breed Caucasian Shepherd Dogs of other colors. The rarest are white dogs, although until the 60s of the 20th century they were the most common. Dogs often have a combination of colors. For example, brown with black or red, rusty red with red and dark bloom, light red with a cream tint. Sometimes brindle color is also found, in which the color has different intensities, as well as the number of stripes. The most preferred color for Caucasian Shepherd Dogs is a silvery gray color with a black mask on the face, black nose, black lips and light paws. In contrast, breeders are not very fond of dogs with a faded color and light eyes. Fawn is also common, which is a light red color with golden, cream, or red tints on the top layer of the hair. The coat of the Caucasian Shepherd Dog is long, thick, and soft, with a dense undercoat. According to the type of coat, these dogs are classified as follows: long-haired. The top layer of wool is very long, it forms a chic mane around the neck and tight pants on the hind legs. The tail is fluffy, reminiscent of a fox. Short-haired dogs have a short topcoat that fits snugly to the body. These dogs are more pronounced in musculature, have a massive build, an intermediate type of Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. The hair of these dogs is not close to the body, but dogs have a thick mane and bristly tail. The nature and habits of the Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. The Caucasian Shepherd Dog breed has long been considered very aggressive and vicious. This is partly true because the Caucasians were withdrawn exclusively to protect the territory. Among these dogs, only those that showed aggression towards people and animals that did not attack them were rejected. In all other respects, Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are ideal territory guards. The main character traits of these dogs are fearlessness, determination, exceptional dedication and absolute independence. There is even a joke among breeders: tie the Caucasian Shepherd Dog to a stick in the field and she will guard it. Caucasians do not bark for no reason and completely control the territory entrusted to them. They are stubborn, persistent and require competent education. With proper training, you can raise a contact dog that will be responsible for the protection and understand who is his own and who is a stranger. For example, if a dog remains guarding an object, it does not rush to new people who come to work for this object, since it understands that this is their territory too. But at the same time, the Caucasian Shepherd Dog understands what kind of people are strangers and they need to be driven away. Therefore, Caucasians are called very thinking dogs. In fact, Caucasians lend themselves well to training, only you need to use soft techniques with a tough character of the trainer. Adult dogs are calm, sedate and do not like to make noise. They are wary of everyone but their family, but they don't rush at people for no reason. Therefore, Caucasians get along well with children. They are aware of their responsibility for them and are even ready to play the role of nannies. Interesting fact, Caucasians are included in the top 10 most aggressive breeds in the world, but those dogs that have not received enough attention and education become angry. Caucasians become attached to one family and, as a rule, die or suffer psychological trauma if they are transferred to another house. Interesting facts about Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. Caucasian dogs do not have a bright temperament. These are calm and balanced animals with a stable psyche. It is very difficult to provoke such a dog to aggression. These dogs even rarely show joy in front of their owners, although in fact they are very devoted to them. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are one of the oldest dog breeds. Some researchers believe that they originate directly from domesticated wolves, which were crossed with ordinary dogs. The appearance of the Caucasian Shepherd Dogs is very similar to the appearance of wolves. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are very independent. They work well with a person, but at the same time they can work independently. For example, when serving in law enforcement agencies, Caucasian Shepherd Dogs can attack objects or go in pursuit without a human command, if required. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs need human attention and affection from childhood. Having bought a puppy, you cannot let his upbringing take its course, just putting it on a chain and feeding him. So the puppy will grow up aggressive and will not see the owner in the person. You need to play with him, stroke him and take him for walks so that the dog socializes. In 1765, the Turkish military used the Caucasian Shepherd Dogs as guard dogs during the Russo-Turkish War. After a few years, the Russians also picked up on this trend and began using Caucasians as guards. The training of Caucasian Shepherd Dogs is individual. In pre-revolutionary Russia, these dogs were not popular. Since the German training system was used, the same command was repeated several times. Caucasians did not understand why they should perform the same action many times, so they got irritated and showed aggression. Pros and cons of Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are challenging dogs that require exceptional training from professionals. It is a big mistake to have such a dog just to put it on a chain for protection. Caucasians run wild, become extremely aggressive, and do not recognize any people. Because of this treatment, the opinion that Caucasians are evil dogs has spread. Of the advantages of the breed, the following can be distinguished: flexible intelligence. Dogs make their own decisions, are easy to train, know their job, and are ready to cooperate with different people. Excellent security qualities. Caucasians are the best guard dogs of all breeds. Absolute fearlessness. When danger approaches, the dog is ready to rush at any moment. These animals are even ready to die for the sake of their owners. Endurance and adaptability to various living conditions. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are unpretentious, live quietly in an open-air cage, easily endure frosts. Living conditions on the street are much more comfortable for them than in an apartment. Dogs are unquestioningly devoted to the owner and family. They are ready to tinker with children, guard the house, play. If the owners of a well-bred Caucasian leave for a short time, they can leave the dog in the care of another person, and the Caucasian will calmly treat him until the owners return. The disadvantages of the Caucasian Shepherd Dogs include aggressiveness. Even with proper training, dogs are wary of anyone who is not their family. Although it is difficult to provoke them, it is difficult to stop the Caucasian Shepherd Dog when showing aggression. Strict education is necessary. In inept hands, the Caucasian Shepherd becomes a dangerous dog. The dog needs regular exercise. This proves once again that putting a dog on a chain for life means ruining its psyche and making it an aggressive animal. Caring for Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. It is highly discouraged to have Caucasian Shepherd Dogs in an apartment, even a very large one. These dogs value personal space, they need constant physical activity, and, moreover, they do not tolerate heat well. The puppy's housing should be a spacious enclosure with an insulated booth. The aviary should be open from time to time for the dog to run and play. This is especially important for growing puppies. Puppies up to 5 months old should be walked on a leash, and from the 6th month they should be muzzled. The puppy's aviary should initially be divided into several zones: warm for the winter period, a booth, a shady zone for heat, and an open area where you can warm up. Interesting fact: Caucasians are clean dogs, therefore the aviary must be clean. If the enclosure is dirty, it can cause fungal diseases in the dog, and, moreover, its coat will roll into mats. The coat of the Caucasian Shepherd Dog is very thick and dense, so you will have to comb the dog often. It is best to scratch the Caucasian every day, but sometimes you can limit yourself to 3 days a week. When molting, scratching the dog is necessary several times a day. The wool of Caucasians is warm and fluffy, so toys and knitting can be made of combed undercoat. For example, warm socks, mittens and belts are very popular. From time to time it is worth cutting the Caucasian Shepherd Dog. They do not tolerate heat well, so in summer it is worth cutting off the hair from the body and paws. Claws can be trimmed every 3 to 4 weeks, especially if the dog is not walking on hard surfaces such as asphalt and floors. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs, even in adulthood, love to play and gnaw objects. Therefore, it is worth buying your puppy toys that will keep him busy when you are not around. Caucasian Shepherd Dogs are unpretentious in food, but if you want to raise a healthy and strong dog, then you should adhere to the nutritional rules. Serving size depends on age, physical activity and feed composition. Feeding your dog too often is not worth it as they have a slow metabolism. Many breeders only feed their adult dogs once a day, which is enough for an active and healthy lifestyle. But if the dog sits in the aviary in winter, then it is worth feeding it twice. An important fact: when feeding, you must adhere to the natural feed base. If you want to feed with ready-made mixtures, then it is worth taking those feeds that are specially designed for Caucasian Shepherd Dogs. The diet should be high in protein, calcium and vitamins. Products: only high quality and fresh, as well as a lot of drinking clean water. Diseases and health problems. Sheepdogs have really strong immunity. They are able to sleep comfortably in the snow, are not susceptible to almost any viruses and infections, so the disease of a Caucasian is a rarity. But there are a number of diseases to which these dogs are more susceptible than others. Hip dysplasia occurs in large dog breeds. Active Caucasian Shepherd dogs with this disease become lethargic, reluctant to go for a walk and rarely play. Lameness and clubfoot appear. The disease can be diagnosed by X-rays. Infections that Caucasians are susceptible to: hepatitis, plague, leptospirosis. Vaccination saves from these diseases best of all, so the dog will definitely not catch such diseases. In addition, animals should not come into contact with stray dogs. There are not many genetic diseases in Caucasian Shepherd dogs. These are, as a rule, various metabolic disorders. For example, you may be allergic to a particular product. Of course, these diseases are congenital, so it is worth taking a puppy only from parents who are tested for genetic diseases. Large dogs have epilepsy, seizures and neuroses, so care should be as optimal as possible. If you overfeed a Caucasian, he will become obese. Slow metabolism allows substances to be deposited in subcutaneous fat. There is also the likelihood of endocrine system diseases and diabetes mellitus. It is not difficult to notice that your Caucasian Shepherd is sick. The behavior of these dogs changes dramatically. The dog becomes lethargic or aggressive, indigestion occurs, appetite disappears, the dog begins to drink a lot. Caucasian Shepherd Dog. Price and how to buy correctly. The cost of Caucasian puppies is as follows. Pet class starts from $200 to $300. Breeding class for breeding from $300 to $500. Show class for exhibitions in the limit of $1,000. It is important not to take the puppy off your hands. It may not be a Caucasian at all, and not to buy an adult dog. Adult dogs are either accustomed to one owner and will not accept a new person, or are extremely aggressive and completely unmanned. When choosing dogs from a kennel, ask breeders to show adult dogs that grow from puppies. This way you will appreciate the appearance of these dogs, as well as behavioral features. For example, when examining parents of puppies, notice if they are showing aggression and what their general behavior is. Adult Caucasians should be on their guard, but not show aggression and, moreover, not rush at the visitors of the nursery. If this happens, select other breeders. Caucasian puppies are contact and energetic, so they will immediately show interest in you. Also, puppies eat a lot and have a good appetite. Their coat is shiny and does not roll into lumps. The ears, eyes and nose are free of discharge and, moreover, no crusts. It is worth choosing a puppy before he turns 2 months old. After this period, they begin to get used to the owners and learn, so it will be difficult to re-educate an older puppy. The Caucasian Shepherd dog is a complex dog that is not suitable for everyone. When purchasing such a dog, it is worth paying a lot of attention to its training and education. In return, you will receive an excellent guard who will be loyal to the family and endlessly loyal to the owner.